All right, y'all, we got QB Benz, aka The Man, just a kid from the Queens. We are going to go ahead and give this project a 9 out of 10, and I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so boom, for comparisons, we got Lil Flip, we got Slim Thug, and then we have the Jay-Z album, 444, or 444. Okay, so for my favorite tracks, we have the intro. I absolutely love the intro. It was given Donda. It was given Kanye, like what he did with Donda and his mother's voice on that project. Love that. I love the intro. Number two, we got Dream About. That was very inspiring. Number three, we got Catch Flights. Absolutely love that one. Number four, we got Looking for an Eater with Look. Let me tell you something about Look. And he don't do nothing else. He gonna hop on him a freaky ass track, boy. Um, but yeah, so number four, Look for Eater, that's your club track right there. That's the club track. Right? You just opened, was it Crave? Looking for a Eater. Number five, Late Night, that's your radio track. Late Night is your radio track. Number six, Daddy Told Me. Number seven, Getting Paid, the bonus track. It's had a very old school D-boy feel to it, but those are my favorite. I had 7 favorite tracks. Yeah. That's a lot. That's good. Good job. All right, now, positive feedback. I absolutely love the cover art. We're going to go ahead and give the cover art 10 out of 10. It's very nostalgic. Like, look at that. And it's a perfect fit because the project is a nostalgic project. It kind of felt like on this project, it just felt like you took us back. You know what I'm saying? You took us back to a time where things were just so simple, where things were just life was just so much simpler, right? And then it's just like on the cover, it's you as a child, and typically in our childhood, that's when things are more nostalgic, things are a lot more simple. You ain't got nothing to worry about, you ain't got no bills. I loved it. 10 out of 10. It coincided with the project. Good job. Okay, so the project was very inspirational. You had some very heavy hitters. Let me see. Hold on, I got a list. You had some heavy hitters on here. You had Luck, you had Coke, you had Gotti, you had Webby, you had Slim Thug. And you know what? I wasn't sure if these features were real at first. I'm sorry. And I'm not questioning your credibility, but I just didn't know. But then they said your name. They was like, yeah, and shout out to Benz, and yeah, my man Benz. And they was like, they threw that assist, and I was like, oh, he really like that. Like, he really out here. He really got it like that. Okay, well connected, well respected. He the plug. You the plug. Love that. I absolutely love how Gotti shouted out JSU. You know what I'm saying? He did his little research before he, gave you your 16. Love that. So I absolutely loved how you leaned into that big homie and that OG role. Because a lot of the elder generation, or they typically try to stay hip. They try to fit in with the younger generation. They kind of try to adapt instead of accepting the role as the elder. Kind of like the grandmas out here getting BBLs instead of babysitting, But you accepted the role as the big homie, as the OG, and you out here schooling the youngins on this project, and I absolutely love that. So the project was very informative. I absolutely loved how you spoke on generational wealth, ownership, investments, land, real estate, like et cetera, property, values, like love that. So it was like 444, which is why I compared it to Jay-Z's album 444. It was like just a masterclass on financial literacy, which we don't get that in school. So, you know what I'm saying? We can get it on the streets, Thank you, QB Benz. I love how you reminded the people that you were somebody before social media. A lot of people, we tend, myself included, we tend to get, wrapped up in social media, in the hype, in just the external validation, right? But it's like when the camera goes off and you put your phone on that charger and you step outside that door, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like, who are you? And you were somebody before any of this, like before TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, before MySpace. Like, you were QB Benz. You were always QB Benz. So it's like, you know what I'm saying? You got that foundation. So with or without social media, you are going to prosper because you already, set that foundation for yourself and for your children. So that's beautiful. Good job. And back to the information and like the financial literacy, it was the fact that you weren't steering people away from getting money or spending money. You were kind of just instructing them to get your money, but then invest it in something that they can't take from you. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we too often we'll get money and then we'll spend it on something that has absolutely no value, or we'll go get a car note, or we'll go rent an apartment, or we'll go get a high rise luxury apartment, and it's like these things aren't ours. Like, so for you to kind of encourage people to get your money, but invest it and be smart with the investments, and make sure that you are making investments that can't nobody take from you. It's yours. Like, yeah. Thank you. So it's giving reformed trap nigga, right? So it's like you got what you could get out of the game, and you got out of the game, right? A lot of people, they live by the code, they die by the code. And it's like, nah, twin, you hustling backwards. Like, a lot of these people are out here hustling backwards. And it's like, you just are very forward thinking, very forward thinking. Love that, love that. And I love how, even though you took that route, you're not encouraging anybody else to take that route. You're not encouraging the youth to take that route, right? Because a lot of people that took that route, they glorify it, and they get on and they just kind of, they idolize and pedestalize it. And it's like, you're like, hey, nah, that ain't what we doing. That's what I did. And this is what I learned from doing that. And I'm going to teach you what I learned. I'm not going to encourage you to go down the same path, because it ain't all what is, what it's chalked up to be. So yeah, good job. Very OG of you. Absolutely love the knowledge that you're giving to your children on Daddy Told Me. Let me tell you something. My pops, I am 35 years old. I can't tell you when the last time I paid a phone bill. I've been on my daddy phone line since I was 18, 19 maybe. Like 18, 19. My pops told me pretty much until I get married, I'm his responsibility. And he takes that seriously. Like I said, I'm 35 years old. I can't tell you the last time I paid a phone. I'm still on my daddy's phone line. Like, yeah, so you giving your kids, and then you didn't just say, hey, kids. You were like, this is for my son, this is for my daughter. You taught them different things, and, just gave them like their own verse, kind of just individualizing your relationship and conversation with them. And I think that's beautiful, because sometimes a lot of when you have multiple children, you kind of tend to group them, or you kind of try to raise them the same way, and it's like you can't. They're different ages, different sizes, different genders, different hormones, like, so I love how you just kind of like, hey son, hey daughter, and not just hey kids. Like, that was pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Love that, love that. All right, now for the constructive criticism. You have way more positive feedback than constructive criticism. I only have, three critiques. Only 2 of them really affected the sound. 1 of them didn't affect the sound. So let's see, we got harsh transitions. So when you were transitioning from song to song, the transitions were just kind of hard. Like, it was just like a hard, abrupt stop, and then like a hard start, instead of it being a smooth transition, or let's say this song fading out and this one just kind of, crescendoing in. It was just like a hard stop and a hard start. So there were some pretty harsh transitions. All right, Late Night. I absolutely love Late Night. It was actually one of my favorite tracks. Let me see, where did I? Yeah, I put it number 5 on my favorite tracks. And I also told you that was your radio track right there. But the thing about it is, I just felt like Late Night didn't really mesh well with this project. It's a great song, but I just feel like this could have been more of a single than it being on this project. It just didn't really blend well. Like, when that song came on, I literally had to check my phone. I had to check and make sure that I was still listening to the same project, because it was a great song. It just didn't blend well with the project. It wasn't consistent with the sound with the other tracks, if that makes sense. But again, great song, still my favorite, one of my favorite tracks. Still feel like that should be your radio track, but yeah, it just kind of didn't blend well, yeah, with the project. Okay, last final critique, which this didn't affect the sound, therefore it did not really affect your rating. But the AI content. Now, I've been seeing a lot of your content floating around, and it has been AI as it pertains to this project and you promoting. I feel like AI is more for enhancing and not replacing, right? And it's just like, man, you are QB Benz, aka the man. You are QB fucking Benz. Like, if you don't go in that garage and pull out that goddamn old school Chevy, and you get one of these little videographers out here throwing 150 bones, and have him record you pulling up at Crave Jacks, like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, when it comes to the marketing and the promotion, I just feel like you could have just put just a wee bit more effort into it, because the project is not bad. It's a good project, and especially for like your older fan base, you know, that the nostalgia that it brought. I just feel like having this such a nostalgic sound and such a nostalgic project, and then bringing in like this new like AI, you know, promotion, I guess, it just, you know, kind of like late night, it just didn't mesh well with the project. Like, the AI is far too futuristic for such a nostalgic project, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But again, overall, 9 out of 10. QB Benz, aka the man, just a kid from the Queens. This was such a beautiful, such a nostalgic project. Absolutely loved it. Welcome back. Welcome back. Yeah, congratulations on your new venture. Shout out to Crave Jackson. And yeah, I hope to see and hear more. I want to see more visuals from you though. That's what I want. Like, I want to see less AI, but I want to see more visuals for this here project. I would love to see that. But yeah, 9 out of 10. Good job, good job. Next time I come to Jackson, I'm coming to Crave.